Yo, what's happening, people? Welcome back to the channel. My name is Captain GG, if you didn't know already, and today we have a brand new 6-part series coming your way for the YouTube channel. And today it is becoming the director. Yes, you can play as the director of football on Football Manager 2022. Now, it does take a little bit of sorting out, but it is fairly simple for you guys to do if you wanted to play along and see how you guys can get on. Now, in this episode, we have already selected a team that is going to be Norwich. Of all teams, we wanted to make it tough, so we thought we'd pick Norwich, try and keep them in the Premier League. If not, don't worry about it. We'll go down to the Championship, we'll win that, and we'll bounce back. But the premise and the idea of the save is to essentially, you can see the rules to the side of us. Essentially, we are just going to be the director of football. So we will hire and fire staff. We will make the transfers, but we will not take any of the games. We will have nothing to do with picking the team, the tactic, none of that. That's not our job. That is going to be the job of the manager. In this instance, it's going to be the assistant manager, but essentially they will be the manager. Our first job is going to be finding that manager. And to be fair, it's going to be tough because we can only get managers on board that really want to take the assistant manager job. So it is going to be tough for us to do. Without further ado though, let's jump into it and see how we got on. So here we are then, chat. We are in game. You will see that a little bit of time has elapsed. It is the 9th of August. It is just before our first game of the Premier League season. We do have a manager in charge. We have found a manager. We have made 1 or 2 transfers so far, and we've let go a couple of players as well. However, the season hasn't started and the bulk of our transfers is still yet to happen. Now, what we're going to run through is some of the changes that we have made so far. So first and foremost, what we want to do is we want to show you what has happened at Norwich City so far this season. Obviously, you can see we technically are the manager. Now, in terms of making this a long-term save, we have had to use the in-game editor to ensure that we are unsackable, because otherwise we could end up getting the sack for the performance of our assistant manager. Now, the reason why we're making ourselves unsackable is because we want this to be a few seasons, and we want to be able to maybe chop and change the manager at certain points. If the manager in which we have chosen, which I'll get into in just a second, if he's not performing to the standard in which we expect him to perform, that's it, we're chopping him out, we'll get someone else in. But in terms of the person in which we have brought in a former Liverpool manager, Željko Buvac. Yes, the man, the myth, the legend, the brain of Liverpool, apparently, has come to Norwich City. Jesus, I've not even done a Newcastle save. What am I on about? That was the other team that we was thinking about, to be fair. However, we have got Buvac in, and he will be the manager of Norwich City this year. His stats are absolutely crazy. In terms of other people that we looked at for the role, if we go to our staff shortlist, we have Avram Grant, who we were looking at, John Terry, Michael Laudrup, Steve McLaren, all of which were good targets. However, we just couldn't get them in the job. Steve McLaren wanted 9 grand, very close. Michael Laudrup was about the same. We just couldn't offer that much. In the end, we managed to get Buvac, and like I say, he's only on £5,750. So a pretty good coup for the team right there. So this is like the busiest time of year for us, right? This is where we come alive as the director of football. So this is our time to make the transfers and then hand over to Buvac to then go and see what he can do with the team in which we give him. So far, things are going okay. In terms of the finances, we started with £10 million in the transfer budget and 1.1 million in the wages. We are overspending ever so slightly. In terms of the transfers in, now a lot of these you'll find have already joined the club IRL or left the club IRL. So we're going to go into it. A lot of these, like I say, Zolis and Rashika and Sargent, Ben Gibson, these were all brought in IRL, so that's nothing to do with us. The only one we have brought in ourselves so far is Lavin Kruzara. Yes, that is right, the left back from Paris Saint-Germain. A very good signing at £2.5 million. The guy is more than good enough for the Premier League. Very happy to be bringing him in. Now, the reason why I brought him in as well is not A, because it was cheap, but B, because we were looking, and we still are, looking to sell Max Aarons. Now, the reason why I want to sell Max Aarons is not because he's not good enough. He is definitely good enough. However, his value is potentially up to 60 million, which would be huge. We could make a whole team overhaul with 60 million pounds, which is the main reason, like I say, as to why I wanted to get rid of him. At the moment, we're struggling to do that, especially for the money in which we want for him. So we're going to go through the rest of the January transfer window, see how we get on, and hopefully we'll be able to offload him and bring in a few additional players. Other than that, at this point in time, not much has changed. In terms of the pre-season, Bubak's done okay. We haven't really had tough games. They've all been pretty simple games. We did play Barcelona. We lost 2-1 to them in a friendly cup, which was a nice little test considering our Premier League start is Arsenal, Chelsea, Man City, then Liverpool. And we don't even know who we got in the EFL Cup second round yet. So a really, really tough month to start out for Bubak. The way I'm sort of seeing this is I'm going to discard the whole first month. We're not going to count the first month's results because I don't expect him to get anything out of any of those games. If he does, then bonus. Points awarded. Wicked. In terms of the Premier League as well, it is just standard. Our only objective this season is to remain a Premier League club. If we can do that, then yeah, mission succeeded and we're all good. If we do get relegated, that's fine. We'll go down into the Championship and hopefully bounce back first time. Whether we keep Bubak all the way until the end of the season, if it looks like we're getting relegated, I don't know. If we do get relegated, do we keep him? I don't know. I'm not 100% sure as to what I'm going to be doing in terms of that. We'll get you guys involved in the comments as to what we do with the manager at certain points. But yeah, it's time, chat, just to get on with it. So if you have enjoyed this episode, this is just a brief episode to give you the update of what will be happening on this save. Immediately though, we do have the very first episode, which is the first 6 months of us being in charge. That's going to be uploaded literally next. I'll pin it in one of these corners, so make sure you go and check out the full episode there as well. This was just the introduction. If you do like the premise and the idea, please do drop it a like. It would be absolutely massive if you can. Also hit the sub button so you can see the future episodes. But other than that, we're out.